Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Awesome group. I'm really excited for today. Get your questions in there. Hey, Mike. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Charlie. Welcome, welcome. All right. Daniel shall be up here in a minute. We will get started. Get your deals in there. Get your questions in there. Yes, we are live, Albert. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Dan.
Guys, welcome in. All right. Welcome back to another week, guys. How's it going, TJ? Hey, Mike. Running a little bit behind. Welcome in, guys. Excited to get to it again on another Wednesday webinar.
Get your questions in the chat. I see quite a few good questions in there. Get your questions in the chat if you have deals you want us to go over, whatever. Get them in the chat as well. If you guys don't mind putting in the chat what your experience level is in land investing, how many deals you've done, whatever that is, what your goals for 2024. We'd really like to get some information.
Absolutely, guys. Excited to be back here. This is meant, like I say, every week to provide as much value these next 30 minutes as we can. Have some fun deals to go over, runs pulling up. We'll go over questions, Q&As, all that good stuff. Get your guys' experience in there. I'm curious to see where everyone's from and your guys' experience, and we'll get started here.
Yep.
All right. Welcome in, Albert, Diana, Jose. Welcome in, guys. Albert, yeah, I said that. Claudia, welcome in. All right. Got some good questions in here. Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, real quick before we get started, guys, I'm going to put our we have a new course, a new bundle releasing tomorrow. I just put that in the chat, landinvestingonline.com/fast-track-waitlist. That's opening up tomorrow at 10 a.m. This will probably be open for a few hours at most. We're only letting 25 people in. So if you are not on the wait list, if you have interest in that, make sure to get on the wait list. Like I said, that opens up tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah, in the wait list, that's it's going to be open for a very short time. Like Ron said, you get free coaching with that program. You get the full course. You get all the advanced modules, the live calls. We have a call after this for members only. We do 3 calls a week. So you get all that stuff with it as well. So if you guys are interested in taking your land to the next level, click that.
Or getting
other
started,
than that, yeah. And other than that, we're going to get started and let's get through some deals here.
All right, let's do it. I'm pulling one up real fast. Dan, I think Jose had a question. If you could scroll up a little bit.
Yeah, some good questions. Joe had one too. So
yeah, get those.
Let's start at the top here. The chart with either one of you. What are the final checklist touch-ups before sending out first mailers? Okay, yeah, good question, Jose. So Jose asked, what are the final checklist and touch-ups before sending out the first mailers, Ron? You'll be able to talk more about that, but pretty much it sounds like he has everything ready to go, sending out his batch of mailers. What do you look at your final steps?
Yeah, I mean, I always double check price, make sure we're pricing somewhat accurately. It can't be perfect. That's the biggest thing with pricing mail when you're sending blind offers is you're not going to have perfect offers. So checking that, making sure that things lined up. Like if you're doing a mail merge with the company, making sure the mail merge lines up, double checking your lines of data, make sure the addresses is matching the APN and it's going to the right place, because mail's expensive. Getting mail to the right place is expensive. Getting mail to the wrong places and sending mail to the wrong spots really sucks. So just double checking your lines, make sure everything lines up on your, you should get a mail proof. It matters where you're mailing with.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, you'll get a mail proof and then you can double check everything too and make sure that you can cross check that between the mail merge and what they're sending out and how everything looks between your Excel sheet and all that good stuff too, depending on who you're using.
Sion said, will the bundle be the last class for a while? Yeah. So we're gonna, the reason we're doing this more so in like cohorts is one, it's more efficient in onboarding you guys. A lot of people are going to come in with the same questions. We can put you guys on accountability groups. And I think it's the best way to do this. So yeah, it's going to be opened and then it's going to be closed once it's sold out for whatever 3, 4, 5 weeks is probably what we're
longer.
thinking.
We don't know depending on what the situation is. It's been longer in the past, and it's been shorter, so we don't really know, but it's going to be shut down for a long time.
But we'll get to your question here in a second, Terry. Appreciate you joining that list. Let me share my screen real fast. We have 22 acres here. It's a member who brought this deal. 22 acres. We're in Lexington County, South Carolina. They are under contract for $45,000. Seems like a really good price. Let me see if anything's wrong with the land.
You're not sharing your screen if you're
looking. There we go. So we have 22 here, Lexington County, South Carolina. Good road frontage, great shape. Great shape on the land. Let's just look at the different features. I'm on id.land. I know a lot of you have been in these calls before. The first deal, I'm going to go a little slower. So not been with us before. This is a good place to kind of learn. So this is contour lines. This is essentially showing the slope on the land. This is minimal. This is not even any slope. Like it's less than minimal slope. That looks really good. Let's see if there's a floodplain, wetlands. I mean, this is just, I would say A to A plus land, right, Dan? It's a little awkward what's going on back here, but really it's not getting in your way at all. Like there might be, I don't know if that's a railroad. It looks like that's actually a railroad. Let me see. No, it's not. It's not a railroad. That's just a awkward little, might be a utility easement back there, like power lines going through.
Sort of easement, yeah.
But you're gonna build off of here, and then you just won't be bothered by whatever's going on back there. I love the land.
Really nice land, A+ land. I know this area fairly well, so we're gonna look at price next. And this is the steps that we do things. We first look on id.land or another similar mapping software to figure out the slope. You can look at slope, all the features, the physical aspects of the land. You can get a really good sense for land from a satellite visual. And now Ron's going to go into Zillow, look at some pricing, things like that as well.
So the thing with land in this county is literally on the border of Columbia, which is a decent sized city. This is not the most rural city that we're going to do the deals like this in. But this is amazing. This is really cool. We want to make sure we're getting comps in this general area, south of 20, kind of in this corner. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull up Zillow. And we're going to go Lexington County, South Carolina. This seems like a really, really good deal. Buying for 44,000, 22 acres, good location. We want to find comps down here. Like I said, south of 20, not too close. We don't want to get comps that are right outside of Columbia because that's not where our land is. So we want to try to get like kind comps.
Exactly.
Let's see if this is real. I don't think this. Oh, no, this has got it's got a property on it. Let me see what's going on with my filter. Something seems off. Let's just go not many comps here, to be honest with you. Let me go to for sale, see what's for sale. We have 13 acres for sale for 128. This is less land. It's got 10 saves in 4 days. That's a good sign that this is 13 acres getting interest at that price is a really good sign. Everything else for sale seems a little bit overpriced in my mind, Dan. You go back to sold. I want to find a sold comp that makes sense. So we have 10 for 140. I'm going to go a little above 20, which I know I said not to do, but we need to find a comp ideally.
Yeah, and with land for sale comps, guys, if you're not in the land space especially, you got to be careful looking at for sale. That's why we look at the views and saves, because usually 60 to 80% of land comps are way out of the price range that they're not going to sell for. They're just not at an accurate price, and they'll sit for 600 days, 500 days, 400 days, and they'll just sit and people throw it up for whatever reason. The difference between houses and land is when people are moving out of their house, they typically need to move somewhere else and sell it and make the money on it. When someone owns land, they don't live on the structure. They don't live on the land. It's usually extra land. They had it forever. They've had it a long time and they throw it up and see what they can get with. So there's so much, the motive's much, much different in this situation that it calls for a lot of, bad priced land for sale. That's why we look heavily at this saves and the views and all of that good stuff. And we look at sold as well. And then when we look at sold, we look at how long it took to sell and all that stuff. So those are the main things he's looking at right now.
So like looking at it, this is a long time ago. This is 18 months ago, this comp, even more than that. It's probably this closer to 20 months ago. 32 acres. sold for 185, which is just under $6,000 an acre. Like, I know the price is going to work out on this 20-acre, 22-acre parcel. I just don't know exactly. Like $6,000 an acre gives us 120 out of this deal. So that would be a buy for 44, 45, 46 after closing costs, sell for 120. My guess is telling me like quick sale. If you want to sell this quick, like 110 to 115 is kind of the spot to be. If you want, you might be able to force 130 or 140 if you really kind of try to push it.
Yeah. So the three things we looked at there was the land, the physical aspect. So that's the first thing Ron did, and that's what we walk through. The second thing we look at is he's looking at the price. And along with the price, we're looking at the location. So those are the three things we analyzed. We thought that land was an A plus. Like there's nothing. That land is really, really solid land. The price now we're saying is a buy for 44, sell for low 100s, potentially. What'd you say, 120, Ron?
Yeah. 110
And
to
then
115.
the location, that's when we look at the actual, how fast is this selling? What are the for sale comps getting? What's the traction look like? The speed of the sale, things like that. And you can formulate, just based off that, that's A all around, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good deal. Like there's not, the land's so good, it's going to sell quickly. It is all wooded, but it's not a huge concern. Like if you want to clear a little buildable area, but just let the end buyer do that, honestly.
Yeah. And if you guys want us to review more deals and you guys like that, hit the thumbs up button down there. That tells us what you guys want. You want to see it. It pushes the algorithm a little bit, helps us out, helps our channel out. If you guys want to see more deals being reviewed, hit that thumbs up. Also get your questions in the Q&A, but as soon as those thumbs up round, we'll review another. But for now, let's get to some more questions.
Yeah, exactly. Albert, that is for tomorrow morning. That's 10 a.m. Eastern is when the bundle will be released. And for the coaching, Terry, the coaching is going to be 1 30-minute call. And what we're going to do in that call is basically pick a market for you. And we're going to also do goal setting. So within that call, we're going to kind of break down your 2024. What are your goals for 2024? What does our marketing strategy look like to hit those goals? And then we're also going to help you out with choosing your first market. It's not going to be an ongoing coaching for this program, but it's going to be one call that we're going to
very, very helpful. It gets you off the ground. It gets your market selected. It's done for you market selection based off the criteria we look at. And so you'll get a county selected or area selected for you. And then you'll get goal setting and go in depth and work backwards. It's reverse engineered. What do you want and how do we get there, and kind of a path to getting that. It's a very, very beneficial session.
All right, let me see what other questions you guys want us to do. A deal? We getting some thumbs up, Dan?
Let's see if we're getting some thumbs up. If you guys want Ron to review another deal, hit the thumbs up, smash that thumbs up, and we can get to another deal. Let's see what other questions we have. I saw one earlier. Get your guys' questions in the chat, guys. Any questions, whether you're new, expert, intermediate, whatever you guys are, all the questions are good. Joe Booth asked, how do you calculate cash on cash returned for a land deal?
I mean, we're flipping land. So if we buy the hard thing is like the time. Like for that deal, for example, you're buying for 44,000. We're not big on like what that looks like at a long term. Cash on cash, in my mind, Dan, is more so like, it's more so for buy and holds. Like, what does that look like? Like if I buy that property for $44,000, $45,000 tomorrow and sell it for 110 in a month, like it's a good deal. It's going to work. We always aim to double our money on land deals. That might be a better way to put it, but the speed of things matters just as fast. Like if you are buying for 50 and selling for 100 and it takes you a year to do it versus buying for 50 and selling for 90 in 2 months, I'd much rather take the 90,000 in 2 months.
Well, also if you're using deal funding too, there's a couple problems with using cash on cash in this business. We're not leveraging normal or typical loans. So we don't have a mortgage or anything on it. So then essentially your equity investment is just time and no money. So it's a cash on cash returns not as prominent in land flipping like this. I use cash on cash. That's really all I use when I'm analyzing. I just bought a mobile home park. We have rental properties. When I'm analyzing things like that, it's all about the cash on cash. But for land flipping, we don't look at it as much. We look at how quick we're turning our money and how many times we're turning our money a year, things like that.
Exactly.
Seller financing. Yeah. If you're collecting seller financing notes and things like that.
Yeah. If you're collecting money every week or every year, it's completely different for sure. Or every month, I mean, but
because you have a note out, you have money out, unless there's different ways to calculate that. But yeah, we're doubling our money, and we double our money on average about, so you can do the margins there. And then we sell a property, our average time on days on market's like 70 days or something right now, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question, John. Yeah, you can cash flow from land. I talked to someone today. I had a consultation with someone today who's it sounds like they're enjoying the program tomorrow. But he said he's in Canada. He does glamping stuff, Dan, and he said he has three of those like domes. You know, those high quality domes. He said he put
Yeah.
100 grand each. He's all in for like 300, and he's he has 18,000 coming in a month. So 18 like the cash on cash is something like that, and niche within land is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of money that you can do. Once you have the land, it opens up the doors to a lot of things. It just depends what you want. You know, do you want cash flow or do you want money now to flip? Do you want like lucrative money flipping land, transactional funding, or transactional deals? But it really depends.
All right, we acres here. Big deal here, Dan. I don't think it counts this. Let me double check. Hold on one second. It's 100 acres in Putnam County, West Virginia. Let me see if this is a separate parcel real fast. Give me a second. Okay, so it is both of these, and we have structures on here, which is interesting. I wonder. Oh, okay. I see the notes here. They said this house was taken down. I don't know if it burned down or what. So it is. This is one parcel, double on both sides of roads. You definitely have the opportunity to potentially sell this separately. This is Virginia. I'm guessing this is going to be pretty sloped once you get back there. You do have these flat areas. One thing I do see, Dan, here is a giant utility pole right here, which I don't think on land this big is going to be too bad, but like this is a big one. This is a big one going all the way across. It's probably going to have some more of those poles up here somewhere.
Yeah. And how much land is this?
It's 100 acres for $115,000. This is in West Virginia, but I think it might be in a decent area. I got to take a look. But 100 acres for $115,000 in a lot of places in the country, that's a home run deal. We'll see. I do like you have clear buildable areas on both sides. This, I mean, you already have structures over here. I think these were burned down, like you said, or taken down.
Yeah, this is nice. This is really nice land.
A lot of land. Let me see where we are in West Virginia. Land checks out. Let me pull up wetlands, water features. So we have a creek through the back. This is an asset back here. Like this is cutting through, not fully through your land in terms of that, but it definitely is going to add a little bit of value potentially if you can get some good pictures and market that well. Let's see where we are. So we're in the northern part of Putnam. We have Charleston right here. I think is Charleston capital? Or is it Huntington?
No, it's Charleston.
Charleston, that's what I thought. So we're in the northern part of Putnam County, West Virginia. Let's see what we got here. I'm curious about this one. I think all those structures aren't there anymore. Maybe they're moving. I don't know. They acted like the member told me there's nothing, no improvements on that. So I'm going to assume that there isn't.
It just disappeared. Wonder what happened.
All right. So yeah, I thought this was going to be a cheaper county. So we got 100 for 115. The thing about it is when you guys are in areas like there, the terrain changes so much. You want to try, like a lot of these parcels that are for sale that sold are going to be 100% sloped in an area like this. If you pull up the satellite map, like this is a very, very sloped county. We have very good land in my mind for this, even with the utility poles.
Yeah, we have solid land. You get in areas like this and 100% of your land can be on a slope and wooded. We have cleared areas with an old building on it. That building's not there anymore, but that means it's very easy to build on and a cleared area for it and all that good stuff as well. So there are perks of just having that there. Go to no max round. Let's see if there's any bigger. There's 120.
Yeah, I'm right here. This is right gonna be most likely our best comp. Looks like really good land. Land might be better than ours. It's hard to tell just based on this.
I would be surprised if there's land much better than what we have.
I agree. Yeah,
I think ours is at the upper end of the quality.
This posted, and a lot of people ask, like a typical question is like, great, you're buying land in West Virginia. Who's going to buy this? Like this land went under contract in 8 days. This on 719 and then 727 for $400,000. Like people. If they see deals, people are going to find them. There's people looking for land like this. This is a great, great comp without a doubt. Yeah, you definitely have a potential to subdivide this.
And that's $3,100. That's $3,100, Ron. An acre. So
which gives us
that by 100, which is 310.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a 250. We're buying for 115. I wouldn't try to push it too much. Like it matters your situation too. Like, can you hold out and try to sell this for 300,000, 325? It might take a little longer. This will sell tomorrow for 250.
Yeah. And what do you think about the subdivide play? That's the first thing I thought of, and then we didn't really touch on it.
For sure. So looking at this as a subdivide play, and we're not talking about subdivide crazy, but you can get some parcels out of this. I think you probably have a buildable area, but you also, this is going to be an issue without a doubt if you try to cut this. So maybe If this is buildable over here, which I think this spot is, you definitely can subdivide this and probably get closer to 400 grand in my mind.
Is there anything like that around? Zoom out a little bit. There are a lot of bigger parcels right there north, but no, not that far. I'd like to see the other parcels around the area.
Yeah, yeah. So you look at Dan was talking about kind of looking at desirability of. Let me pull off the contour lines because that's throwing me off.
Yeah, change those contours.
Desirability like this. So like smaller acres like this. This is probably 15 acres. Yeah, 14.7.
That's still big. Like you can get it lower than that. What's that triangle right
I want to
there?
get lower than that, honestly. With stuff like this, you're going to have slope concerns. Then you're going to have
Yeah.
like I would try to cut this up around 20 or something each.
Yeah, but I think generally, like land investors look for the easiest way to do it, and you don't get as good as a return. Like economy of scale shows to cut it up as much as possible to get the most, but you also want to take into effect how much time and money that's going to cost. Obviously, a major subdivision here is not the play. There's not a lot of subdivisions around this area. It's some sort of minor subdivision. When you start doing minor subdivisions, there's a couple questions you have to look at. We have all road frontage. That's the number one thing here. When you guys are looking at subdivisions, we have a couple thousand feet, maybe more of road frontage right there.
You times it by 2, yeah.
Times it by 2 because of both sides. So yeah, this is a natural split. So you can already split this in 2 with doing 0 work essentially.
Yeah, I mean this is 4,000 feet, 4,500 of
4,500 feet of road frontage. So you can split it up on both. Like this is a perfect subdivided play in my mind. The only thing you got to look at, you want all parcels to be as equal as possible. Not as equal as possible. You want all parcels to be buildable in a decent lot so you don't get stuck with them. In minor subdivisions, it doesn't matter if you have 2 lots that are just going to sit for a long time and sell and they're just kind of defected because you have 100 other lots. But if you have 2 lots defected out of your 10 splits, 10 different lots or 8 lots or whatever you split it up into, it makes much more of an impact for sure. In general, though, you want to split it as small as possible to make the most buildable lots in general.
And you also want to make sure there's enough buyers out there. Like if you're splitting down into 10 acres or something like that, the thing is you can probably get your money back pretty darn fast, but you might sit on.
But you can also give the option to buy as
multiple.
A whole. Yes. Or buy multiple. Correct.
Yeah.
That's
why I like comp from a while ago, Dan, 18 or 22 months ago or so, 11 acres for 61, but we just don't have many comps down at that lower acreage range. It's all higher stuff, price really high. So nothing that's going to scare me off other than, I mean, I don't know what this is. But
you can make a boatload of money on this property. If
you have 100 acres, I mean, there's a chance you can get 500 out of this, buy for 115, put $10,000 into a subdivide and then sell it for 500.
I would subdivide it 5 to 10 acres, or 10 acres probably if you can.
Yeah.
8 to 10 lots.
I agree. Let's get through some questions here. I saw a question about financing, Dan. I want to get over that. Adam asked, what are some good financing options if we come across a potential deal, make a blind offer and don't have the funds? Deal funding is a great route. Like we do deal funding for quite a few of our members. We do it for non-members as well. You don't have risk on deal funding. That's the best thing. You can always try to find hard money, but there is going to be risk on you. And that deal funding is always going to be a profit split. Buy for 50,000, sell for 100,000. I pay all 50,000 of the purchase price. You're responsible for selling the property. Then that $50,000 of profit that we have after you sell it, is going to be a profit split depending on our contract.
Yeah. So you have no money out of the game. You're not leveraging a bank loan or any mortgage or anything like that. It's a really, really good situation to be in because you're just not leveraging anything. Yes, you have to split your profits, but you're not risking anything. Like there's something incredible. Like think about if you go buy a house right now, unless you got some sort of friends and family thing going on with a profit split at the end, like what you have to go through from a bank and all that. It saves a lot of headache, but it's also fast and easy money. We fund deals within, really, really fast after seeing them. If it's a good deal, we wire the money. I mean, we close very, very quickly, and it's a good thing to have.
Charlie asked, what is the difference of a disclosure versus non-disclosure state? What does that even mean? A non-disclosure state is a state that does not disclose the sale price. So if you go to Texas or something on Zillow, anywhere in Texas, anywhere in Kansas, anywhere in Missouri, there's other ones that not crossing my mind right now. But if you go to any of those states, there's just gonna be dashes, and you'll know the last list price, but it's not gonna tell you the sold price. It just does not need to be disclosed in those states.
Yeah, and there's elements to non-disclosure states that make it more difficult to do business in, obviously, because you don't know the prices as well. There are ways to get around it, but it proposes also a good opportunity because a lot of people stay away from them. So I like non-disclosure states. We've done a lot of business in non-disclosure states. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. What should my search parameters be when creating my list? First, you got to select your market, Matthew. Matthew asked this. Once you select your market, you want to see what the prices are. I like to go typically, if you want bigger acreages with good margins, go 2 to 100 acres. Like that. That's how broad it can be. It doesn't need to be anything specific. Get your county, get your market, and then hit your acreage range. Generally, when you're sending out mail, you want to send out 1 to 3,000 mailers at a time, 1,000 to 3,000, and work backwards from there and see what your filters get. But you don't want, 5 acres right outside of Austin, Texas that cost $700,000 for 5 acres. Those aren't the deals to go at first. If you're newer, when you're more experienced, you can. The deals you want to go at 5 acres is 30 grand, 50 grand, 70 grand, those type of deals.
Yeah, and then you'll get a data source, and then data source is going to spit out all the owners of that, price the mail, send the mail out, whatever it is. Rick asked, I'm looking into doing this, no experience. What is the average time it takes to make some sort of income, or much should you have to do, or much should you have to live
Or
on?
how much should you have?
Or how much should you have? If you're starting with this business and you want to do direct mail, which is the most efficient way to kind of scale this business up, I always suggest starting with $4,000 to $6,000. 3 to 5 can do it. If you're starting with texting, you're starting with cold calling. We have people who come in with $500 and then they turn that into $50,000 in a few months of grinding it out. But that being said, if you're coming in, you're doing direct mail, I mean, you can get a deal within 30, 45 days. Usually people are flipping their first deal around day 80 to 110 or something like that, where they're bringing the money back in. The key is being consistent with your mail over those first 3 months and not just waiting for deals to close before you send your next mailer out. But days 80 to 110 is a very normal spot to actually be a profitable business. And then after that, you're just really reinvesting your income or your profit.
Yeah, exactly. That's and then the next question we have, since we got a few minutes left here, is do you stay out of non-disclosure states? We just kind of covered that. We do not stay out of it. I like non-disclosure states. There's a lot of land and a lot of demand, and just as you can't just stay away from how many states is it that are non-disclosure. You can't just avoid all those. I think there's a lot of opportunities there for the people who want to attack those deals.
I think there's always things that have barrier to entry. There's always more opportunity. A non-disclosure state has a barrier to entry. I think there's more opportunity, honestly, in areas where there is more of a barrier. John asked if I get a property under contract. Matt, we're not going to have time for that today. Unfortunately, we have our members call to go into 2 minutes. If I get a property under contract for 60% of market value, but the potential profit is $100,000. So you're saying you're buying for 120, selling for 220 is kind of what I'm looking at. Would that be eligible for deal funding with you guys? Typically not. We always look to fund deals under 50%, unless it's some like crazy buy for $1 million, sell for 1.8, like those we can do. But the thing is, if you're buying at 60%, what if that only sells at 90% of your projected price? Like that's when the risk comes on for us, and it's way too tight, way fast.
Because then you buy at 60, closing costs are $3,000, $2,000. You buy them for 60,000. We think it's going to sell for 100,000. Then you're in 63,000 after closing, and then you're using a realtor maybe, and that takes off $10,000 or $8,000, whatever their percentage is. Let's just go low, 6,000, 6%. And then all of a sudden it sells at 85 instead of 100. It sat for a while, times out. So now you have a buy for 63, sell for 85 minus closing cost on that end, minus realtor fees. And it can get really, really tight, really fast. And that's where the risk is.
Yep. Let me get one more question real fast. Daniel just put the wait list in there again. We have our February fast track. This is going to be you're going to have coaching in this. You're going to have our full education. You're going to get a CRM. You're going to have a 60-minute roundtable. You have all the education you need.
It's free coaching in the package. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. If you guys are not on that wait list, if you guys are interested, we are limiting it to 25 people. It's going to be probably sold out before 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. Comes out at 10 a.m. Eastern. Other than that, guys.
And don't forget, guys, hit that subscribe button if you guys enjoyed this. We come back every single Wednesday. Put it on your guys' calendar. I almost said 6. 5:30 p.m. every single Wednesday. We're here. Bring your questions. Think throughout the week as you're getting deals, as you're looking at deals, as you're analyzing the industry. Bring them every single Wednesday. We're here to answer these. So if you guys are getting value here, please hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to us.